Welcome my friends to the 14th Colonel Marbles Miniatures Review vidcast, and we've got an excellent selection of really diverse miniatures for your enjoyment this week, so let's press on.
Sponsored in part by Rattlehead Games, now offering Morgan Keith Studios products.
And speaking of Morgan Keith Studios, here they are kicking us off this week at number 10. This is Theodorus, the Martian princess, who cost you $4.99 US. I'm not sure how she'd fit into a sci-fi, fantasy or pulp collection, but she's kind of cute anyway. Wargame Supply Dump supply the number 9 entry this week. These are some of the new miniatures from their Dick Garrison 28mm pulp sci-fi range, sculpted by Brad Shear. First up is the leader of the Retrovians. It's a multi-part kit costing £250 UK. The second example is a sniper with vision enhancer, costing £150 UK. These figures are great retro fun and very reasonably priced at that. Looming out from the dank depths this week at number 8 is Magnificent Egos. This is Sildiblip, the Kraken Spellcaster, the newest addition to Magnificent Egos Nightmares range. It's a pretty amazing looking figure, very different at least. It's part metal, part resin, as you can see, and apparently it will cost something like $39.99 US. At number 7 it's MSB Toys. Well, you must know by now that I'm a sucker for MSB stuff, but I think this God Totemic elephant is just going a little too far even for my taste. I mean, I know it has that authentic Indian myth feel, but an elephant with 6 arms? What are these lunatic guys going to come up with next? At 6 we have Asmodee Editions Helldorado. These are pictures taken at a convention of miniatures from the yet-to-be-released game. I've actually got very little, actually make that no, information on the miniatures that I can tell you. But at least they make good eye candy, and I'm keen to see what they'll look like when they've had decent studio shots. The vague rumours that I've heard say that the game is about a 17th century colonisation of Hell, which is certainly different. At number 5 in this week's rundown we have Freebooter miniatures. Top German sculptor Werner Klock has 2 new Imperial arquebuses ready for release in October. This first one has a slightly odd pose, but it's still a great looking mini, I think. This pose, however, is definitely more standard. The miniatures are cast in 4 parts and will cost €13.50 for both. At number 4 we have our French chums Rackham. There were lots of new releases this week, and I've cherry-picked those I like the most. First up are these Pixie Tricksters, neat little pumpkin-head dudes. There are 3 in total, on sale for €10. Next up we have this excellent double-barreled shotgun-wielding ogre called Carrick Trigger. I featured a blurry convention pic of this in an earlier vidcast, but up close and personal he looks even better, and he's selling for €16. Finally there are the Meteors of the Aegis, a box set of a total of 4 jetpack-equipped dwarves selling for €25. This episode sponsored in part by the Fiend Foundry, who produce quality resin terrain at an affordable price. Into the top 3 now, and at 3 we have Brigade Miniatures. Here are a few of the new 28mm greens of some suitably swashbuckling musketeer miniatures. First up are 2 very well done traditional 3 musketeer type figures. Next up we have a few buckle-swashing ladies, always a favourite of mine. No word on pricing for these. Copplestone castings are at number 2. Mark Copplestone has always been one of my favourite, no make that my favourite, figure sculptor. Although they are scarcely fantasy, sci-fi or pulp minis, I had to include these Botocudo South American tribesmen in this week's cast. I certainly intend to use them in my fantasy Darkest Africa army. The Botocudo apparently wore nothing but a straw penis sheath and a few necklaces and war paint. Interesting. Anyway, you can pick these up, 5 figures for £6 UK. Part sponsored by Blue Table Painting, your first choice for a quality miniatures painting service. Grabbing the all-important number 1 spot this week, like a bolt out of the blue, it's Superfigs. I must admit, I've rather overlooked Superfigs miniatures before now, but these new releases were a real eye-opener. They are a superhero team called the Freebooters, who certainly benefit from an excellent paint job. These are just bags of fun. I particularly like the little Mr. Brain and his big Ego Bot, who sell for $7.95 US. Having gone back and looked at the Superfigs ranges, it could be time for me to start some superhero type gaming, as these miniatures really are great fun. Well, that just about brings us to the end of another show. I've just got time to tell you that I'm hoping to do a special edition of the Marbles vidcast featuring the Frothers Unite Asylum sculpting contest entries sometime in the near future, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Anyway, hope to see you again, same time, same place, next week.